Apologies in advance for my voice. I am under the weather. So, Avengers Doomsday rumor. Worlds die in shocking opening scene. So that was teased quite a bit by, again, rumors, of course, but it lines up a lot about what the problem is, and it's this multiverse collapsing and past iterations of Marvel characters will be no more. So, don't know exactly how that'll go for people. I mean, for the Fox X-Men world, I thought Logan was a good conclusion to it. But then, of course, you had Deadpool and, and so, boy, it just keeps on going. So, anyway, here's some of the rumors that sets the stakes for this Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars and so forth. So we get possible major Avengers Doomsday spoilers regarding the end of worlds and what sounds like a massively shocking opening scene. So potential spoilers. So if you don't want to hear any of this, I guess you can't watch this video. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Interestingly enough, according to the rumors, we've already seen some of the footage. Well, no doubt you're seeing, especially this business of Cyclops taking his goggles off and blasting out the sky and stuff. Something terrible has happened. A lot would suspect that Jean Grey has died. And, I mean, I know he said, hey, she died in the original series. Yeah, but then remember Wolverine time traveling changed all that. So she was alive again. Well, not anymore. So, a wild new rumor about Avengers Doomsday may signal the end for Tobey Maguire's iconic Spider-Man. According to the latest report from Nerdrotic, the film kicks off with an explosive multiversal set piece where Tobey Maguire returns as Peter Parker, only to be killed when Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds show up. So it's been teased around. Are they going to be in it? Will they be in it? They shot scenes, but they haven't really finalized an agreement, stuff like that. I mean, of course they got to be in it. That's their last big successful film, was Deadpool Wolverine. And it does a lot more to set up your multiverse stuff in it alongside the Spider-Man movie, the Doctor Strange movie. It had multiverse in the title, but it didn't really, So yeah, they got to be in it. So I'm guessing, yeah, they're going to show up. The scene reportedly sets the tone for the entire movie, described as serious and aiming to one-up what Marvel and the Russos did with Infinity War. Well, let me read the whole thing first. Where Thanos took out Xandar, the Hulk, Thor, Heimdall, and Loki at the start of the film. Right. It showed how serious a threat he was and how powerful he was and all that, and he just beats them all down. But yeah, to set the serious tone of how bad this was. But then Thor shows up at the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, and it goes back to being Tee-Hee and Goofy for a bit. A little bit. And they still gave Thor a good run in that movie, so there is that. But that's mild in comparison to the crap that would follow, later, post-Endgame and all that. But anyway, the problem here is, you could set up a lot of spectacular scenes and whatnot, but Infinity War had the benefit of really solid films leading up to it, and especially with Thanos being teased throughout those films. And then here he's full on, your villain in Infinity War and Endgame. That's not the case here with Doctor Doom, and that's the failings on Marvel. And they're just going to try to ass backwards do it in one movie. It's kind of like how the DCEU tried to catch up with Marvel and do in Batman versus Superman in one movie what Marvel did in 4 to 5. Yeah, it's not really doable. Although, we may find that Batman vs. Superman is better than Doomsday. I don't know. Excuse me. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, co-hosts Gary Beekler and Chris Gore discuss the rumor, revealing that Tobey's Spider-Man appears in the film's opening, possibly alongside Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus, and meets a brutal end. Each world is every world for itself, Beekler explains, hinting at universes falling one by one. Tobey Maguire dies and the world is destroyed. So they're sort of forced to say, it's nothing personal, but it's either your world or mine. Beekler adds, and that is because of the X-Men. So the X-Men show up in Tobey Maguire's world and destroy it. So if true, this marks a shocking twist where the X-Men, particularly Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, are responsible for wiping out a fan-favorite Marvel universe. An outside rumor has also claimed Hugh Jackman's Wolverine kills Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And it could be. Could be. But here, this scene, that doesn't speak to me that Cyclops is fighting Spider-Man. This looks like he's really upset. You know, he said, well, he's really tortured about what he has to do. But I'm thinking it's because, you know, there's something to make him that explosively mad and desperate would be Jean Grey dying. Anyway, adding more fuel to the speculation, Gore points to a scene fans have already seen in the teaser. Scott Summers' Cyclops removing his glasses and unleashing an optic blast. Who is he fighting? Gore asks. Not the Sentinels, Beekler responds. Gore answers, Spider-Man. The implication is that Tobey's Spider-Man may not just fight Wolverine, but also square off against Cyclops and the X-Men, raising major concerns about how fractured the Marvel universes have become by the time the movie begins. Well, fractured, I mean, it looks like the Tobey Maguire world ceases to exist right off the bat. And then the X-Men move on to the next one. You know? So, Feige nearly nixed Spider-Man's involvement. Typical Feige. Interestingly, Beekler claims the plan nearly changed during the now infamous Chairs promo era when his source said Kevin Feige didn't want to deal with Sony. That would have excluded Spider-Man from the movie entirely. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do. Look, you managed to work out the deal to get him in there, even after Marvel built itself without Spider-Man, which is an amazing achievement on their part. Spider-Man is the star of Marvel Comics, period. It's like Batman is the star of DV Comics, period. That's the way it is. You may have a character that's more your favorite, you know, and you can make all kind of arguments. Superman should be the star and all that. But you got to deal with the way things are. And once they got that deal to do Spider-Man movies and have him meet the other characters and stuff, you got to stick with that. To do something this significant, to set up your reboot and all that and try to restart your franchise that you destroyed, you can't do it without Spider-Man, regardless of who's playing the character. However, it appears the decision was reversed, and Maguire's inclusion was not only reinstated, but used as a high-stakes opening to showcase the dangers of the multiversal collapse. As if that wasn't enough, Beekler drops another bombshell. Doctor Doom is said to be the one who ultimately destroys the Marvel Universe. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I think that's the deal. So it collapses into Battleworld, and then they fight over what iteration of the universe, multiverse, whatever, survives after Secret Wars is over. So anyway, this fits with earlier rumors that Avengers Doomsday will serve as a culmination of multiversal chaos, ending with Doom as the last villain standing before the rebooted Avengers Secret Wars timeline takes over. They're swinging for the fences on this one, Beekler claims. The creative team behind Avengers Doomsday is reportedly determined to one-up the emotional impact and scale of Infinity War. That would explain why such massive legacy characters and fan-favorite actors are rumored to appear and die in brutal, unexpected ways. Doomsday gets released December 18th, 2026. Well, that's what they got to do. I mean, first of all, it's a multiversal story. It was always going to be that way, even when it was going to be Kang Dynasty, because they were teasing all this stuff and relying on the gimmick. But now they're completely dependent on legacy movies from the past for anyone who's has an attachment to those iterations of the characters. So Spider-Man dying, the X-Men dying, and stuff like that. That's the emotional weight you need, because there's nothing built up for the MCU itself leading up to this movie. So you're heavily dependent on these legacy characters. Plus, they got to bring their own legacy characters, their original characters back with Chris Evans and the like, So it's more gimmick than actual story, but a well-performed narrative and whatnot that they put together should deliver an entertaining experience. Is that enough to win back the trust and for future iterations? Well, it depends on that first teaser or first trailer. Well, yeah, teaser probably of your next project following all of this. If it's a crappy, woked up X-Men, dead on arrival. But I think the X-Men, the new X-Men that they're going to develop, and I'm pretty sure Sadie Sink is their new Jean Grey. So they're already casting, and we'll probably meet more of them as this Doomsday and Secret Wars unfolds. And then that'll go on into the MCU's X-Men with a restarted universe. So some of the things that you saw in those MCU movies remain canon, others not so much. One of the rumors is the post-Endgame films get wiped out. And I am fine with that. I'm dubious that they would do that completely, but yeah. We'll see. But anyway, that's the idea, because you don't have the build-up like you did with Thanos. You only have these legacy characters based on a bunch of films in the past from Fox and Sony, and you're hoping that's enough to get you emotionally immersed in the narrative and the high stakes of the battle here for all these fan favorite versions and beloved, what have you, of these characters meeting their end. So anyway, again, maybe Cyclops is fighting with Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus. I don't know. But to me, to see him like that, or unless he's forced to do this, he hates doing it. He doesn't want to have to kill Spider-Man and all that, but he has no choice. And maybe that could be the agony you see there, but I'm thinking Jean Grey is no more. And maybe she dies in the fight with Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus. I don't know who else they could get out of the Maguire-verse, I guess. Throw in the Green Goblin again. But anyway, I think there's a lot of truth to this rumor that probably, that's how it opens up. Maguire meets his end. I still think maybe both Maguire and Garfield show up at the end of the Spider-Man movie to recruit him for the multiverse war. And maybe there'll be two Spider-Men going forward with Maguire and Holland. And then ultimately Garfield meets his end and Holland survives for perhaps another Spider-Man movie following the reboot. I don't know. But anyway, I suppose they could kill him and do their Miles Morales thing. I think that's a bad idea. But maybe they'll do that. But anyway, there you go. It's still a Hail Mary pass. It may make money. It may do very well. Will it save the MCU? I am extremely dubious that is the case. And of course, it depends. What are your plans for your new MCU? If it's more of the same of the past few years, dead on arrival.